Okay, traders, I'm done for the day, and I have been asked to talk a little bit about the gap closing strategy or the fact that I shorted stocks today. Here are my orders for today, my field order for today. As you can see, I had a beautiful trade in Amazon over $3,600. ICPT, nice trade, but smaller size, $860 so far. SIG, beautiful trade, still going. QGen, relatively small mover, small winner. RAD is still moving, and my only loser today is BA, Boeing. So I've got 5 winners and 1 loser. I did start with a loser today with Boeing, so that was a bit tough to start with. These are my open orders here. So as you can see here, I'm still riding RAD with 400 shares and the rest with smaller size. So I've got $650 open, which means I'm up like 7.5 grand or so. That's a beautiful start for me for 2020. Now let's quickly go through some of these trades so that I could explain some. I'll start with my loser here with Boeing. So why did I decide to go short today? And there's of course so many different strategies that you can pick from. If you noticed, Scott had a bunch of interesting looking longs. AMD, look at how beautiful it looks. Tesla, I think you took it on the pullback, right over here, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So it took AMD, which is still moving higher. It took Tesla. I thought it came down too much, and it moved up. So you can make money from going long on a day like this, and that's what's beautiful about having so many different kind of strategies. You can make money going long and you can make money going short the way I do. You know, I usually prefer going short. There's nothing new about that. But let's start with the S&P 500. Let's talk a little bit about the S&P 500. Here's the big gap we started with today. When you start with such a big gap, this is 1 minute candle. Let's move to 5 minute candles here. So when you start with such a big gap, you always expect the gap to push the price down, meaning the gap is like a vacuum. You expect a pullback. You do not expect, on a big gap like today, you do not expect the whole gap to close. On a small gap, you expect the gap to close. On a big gap, you do not expect. Like if I'll go for the previous trading day, you can see that we started here with a gap down, moved up, closed the gap, came down again, moved up. But again, small gaps are usually getting closed. Big gaps, usually not. I'm not saying this is not going to get closed, but as you can see, we came down and we stopped here. So I was expecting the market to help me and come down. However, my first trade wasn't that successful, was a loser. That was BA. And BA started with a gap up with the market approximately. You look for a stock that is starting with a gap up, not too much. Like BA is right now up 1.5%. The market started 0.6. When we were over here, BA was like 0.8% or so. So it gapped up approximately with the market, not much more than the market, which is a good start if you want to go short. You don't want to go short a stock that is gapping up much more than the market is gapping up. You want to go short, possibly going short a stock which is gapping up with the market, assuming that the gap is due to the market. Now, if you expect the market to come down in the direction of closing the gap, in the direction, not necessarily closing the gap, you expect Boeing to come down too, which did not happen. I had a losing trade in Boeing. The other thing, and it doesn't always work. I mean, it worked out fantastically well with the other, but not with Boeing. But the other thing you should be looking at is what Boeing's doing on the daily. So if you take a good look at Boeing, it's been coming down recently. And of course, a lot of bad news in Boeing and so on. So I was expecting Boeing, as it looks not so good on the daily, quite weak, and gapped up with the market, to be under pressure and move down. However, at this point over here, as you can see, the market did not yet come down. The market was in fact looking for a new high, and Boeing took it way too seriously and spiked over the highs, and I had my stop and it took me out, and that's fine. So Boeing was not a successful trade. However, if I'll go to other like Amazon, that worked out fine. Now, as you can see, as Boeing was moving higher, Amazon was really just going sideways with a bit of a of a pressure to come down. Let me move here to 1 minute candles so you can see that clearly. So first candle, you don't mind the first candle. First 10 minutes even, you don't really mind because there's a lot of open orders, and then therefore you can see Amazon just going sideways. But then you can definitely see the way Amazon chose to move down. So we had a nice technical formation here. I posted Amazon in the room under 1873 and 20 cents, something like this, which was the lows right over here. Initially it came down, tried to move higher. Nothing wrong about that because it still is downtrending very clearly. I had my stop here over 79, never reached it. Continued to come down. That was a beautiful trade, and I'm still riding Amazon as it comes down. Now Amazon again gapped up, not much. It's up 1%, so it's a bit more than the market, but it's coming down, and the technical formation was right. So again, I was expecting the market to come down, and therefore Amazon too, and Amazon did work out fine. Now had another trade in RAD. Posted this one under 1670. Now RAD is a target of mine because of the daily. So it all starts with the daily here. As you can see, it's spiked up recently, and usually when stock is spiking up from $7 to $24, it continues to come down. So I believe that it came up today mainly because of the market and maybe because of the daily, but basically I think it should still come down. So it was a target of mine for the last few days, not just today. And as you can see, it started with a gap up and still is coming down. So that was a beautiful trade. It was short under 1670, which was right over here. Initially moved up a bit and then came down and finally gave us a nice trade. We also took QGEN short today, and QGEN was quite the same thing. Now, as you can see here, the intraday started with a gap up, was going sideways. I think it's going to be a bit more clear first few minutes if you look at the 1 minute candles. So if you look at the 1 minute candles here, you can see that it was going sideways and then decided to move down. That was when I posted it under 34.10. So 34.10 was right over here. I really missed the lows, and then it came down a bit more. I decided to wait until a new low, and then it just continued to come down. So again, a beautiful trade that moved in the direction of closing the gap. And if you take a look at the daily of QGEN, again, it's very, very weak. It came down, crashed down a few days ago, tried to move higher, still is moving higher, but usually when you see a stock behaving this way, I don't know if that's people who are just buying, averaging down their losses or whatever, but when a stock looks like that, it usually does not succeed to move higher. Usually it should continue coming down. So that was again a target of mine. When I saw QGEN today in the pre-market, it was a target of mine to go short today, assuming something happens. So I thought the market gapped up, it's probably going to come down, it's probably going to move into the gap, which it did. Now let's take a look at 5 minute candle. It's going to be a bit more clear. You see, it just came down without stopping to the point where it closed the gap. At that point, you definitely won't take your partial. I took my partial a bit earlier, a few cents higher, 85 I believe, and then it continued to come down. I removed some more size, and you expect a pullback at the point where it closes the gap, and it certainly did exactly that. Now I only have 100 shares, hoping it's going to continue coming down, and it's the right thing to do, I guess, but don't expect too much after a stock is coming down, closing the gap. SIG was posted in the room by, can't remember who posted it in the room, if you can help me, but it was posted in the room, and that was beautiful because SIG is down today 14%. So this one, I don't care much about the daily. When the stock is gapping down and continues to come down, now it's down 14%, and a nice reversal opportunity right over here where it was posted. So again, I did not pick the stock, 1970, I just supported it. That was a nice reversal over here, and it came down just beautifully. So more than a point in an $18 stock, I can't ask for more. Last trade, ICPT. And ICPT was just a beautiful breakdown over here. So again, the stock is coming down. And again, I don't care about the daily when I see something. I always take a look at the daily. I always do. But because sometimes you find some interesting thing, but that would be quite rare. When the stock is down more than 4% right now, and coming down to such a nice support area. It was posted here under 1780, right over here. And coming down under this nice support area, and it's already down 4%. You just can't resist that. The problem with ICPT, it's a bit spready. Volume is not that great, so moved in at a much smaller size than I usually do. So it's not one of my biggest winners today, but still great. What do we have on ICPT? I've got $860 here, and yeah, like $700 right now. So again, not a huge winner, but a beautiful trade. I think I should stop it somewhere over here now, over 118.50. So anyway, great way to start my day and my year with over 7 grand. Thank you very much for participating, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Thank you guys in YouTube for following us. If you don't mind giving us a thumb up, that would be great. And we do still have our promotion, our end of the year promotion. So if you want to join us, want to join our team, you got a great opportunity right now. Clifton's going to post the link. So again, thank you very much, traders, and I will see you all tomorrow.
Thank you for watching our video. Before you go, we invite you to join the Tradenet trading room for a free 14-day trial. Tradenet has educated more than 30,000 professional traders worldwide since 2004, and its trading room is one of the world's leading trading communities. Click here to start your free trial. If you like this video, please subscribe to our YouTube channel where you can view many more stock trading videos. Questions or comments, please submit them below.